Hey guys, it's Simone here, and I wanted to do a recap video of my trip to Puerto Vallarta on the recent incentive trip that I earned. And something that I wanted to do a little bit differently was I wanted to break down specifically in this video what I brought there and what I packed and what I found the most useful for my trip. As a little bit of background, I flew in Sunday and flew out Friday, so I was there for, almost a week, a good amount of time. And if you know anything about all-inclusives, for the most part, everything is free. So, but you have to keep in mind that some of the restaurants might have certain dress code requirements, and so you want to make sure that anytime that you're going to an all-inclusive, that you prepare for that you bring enough variety of stuff that you can do the different dress codes and you don't have to worry about it. So I was very aware of the dress codes and I wanted to make sure that I brought a variety of things. So I wanted to show you guys what I brought, what was useful, and hopefully this will help you guys out if you guys are ever planning a trip to Puerto Vallarta, or if you're planning a trip to any all-inclusive, or if you just like knowing what people pack for things, because I personally really like that. So I hope this is something that some of you guys will find useful. So first of all, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to check any luggage. So I was flying Delta nonstop, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't checking any luggage because I didn't want to pay for any extra stuff. So all of this stuff I fit on one carry-on rolly bag. So I love hard-cased luggage. So if you're looking for a good carry-on bag, that's what I would recommend taking a look at. I do have a Posh specific one, but one of my other favorites is a set that I got from Costco. So a really great place to look if you ever need a rolly bag or a carry-on, any luggage of any kind. Okay, so the things that I always take with me anywhere I go, regardless of anywhere I go, I always have packing cubes. I love these. I actually have a set of 4 of these. This is just the Amazon Basics brand, and I have a set of 4 of these, and I love these because it compacts everything really nicely, all your clothes really nicely, and it keeps it organized so that when you're unpacking, it doesn't all just come out, and it's very easy to be able to tell where everything's at. And on this trip, I filled 2 of these up. And usually when I do stuff like when I pack with my kids and whatnot, the kids can each have one, and it's just a really easy way to unpack and make sure everything is together. So I always take these with me on every single trip that I go on. Another thing that I have recently added to my packing stuff is these bags here. I actually got these. This one says it's for laundry, but it's just the largest option they had, and I got these at Daiso, which is in Washington. So it's kind of like a dollar store for those of you guys that are not super familiar with it. And I actually got these because I like the size of them. They do have different kinds the last time I was there for like shoes and whatnot, but I got this one specifically because it was the largest one, and I like that it's reusable. I like that there's a drawstring on it. And yeah, I can use it for anything. So sometimes I use it for laundry. Today I have shoes in here. That's what I used these for. And then the other thing that I usually always pack on my trips, and especially any business-related trip, is an additional duffel bag. So that's packable, that's foldable, pretty compact, that I can fit into my carry-on, so that when I come back, I inevitably will be bringing more back than I bring there, so I can check the duffel, or I can check my carry-on on the way home. So try to minimize the amount of money that I'm spending on checked baggage. So this one, if you guys have ever seen my bags, I love this brand. It's Jujube. And I'm obsessed with Tokidoki as well. So this is a Tokidoki Jujube collaboration. This is one of their duffels, the largest size, which is, I believe, called the Super Bee, with the messenger strap. And I actually have several of these bags because I take them for everything. I use them for just about everything. Road tripping, whenever we travel with the kids, it's the kids' night bags. So I cannot speak highly enough of Jujube. I love it. So there's that. And then those are my essentials. And I usually always have one last essential is a Jujube Quick. And this one is one of the newest ones that I have in the whimsical watercolor print, I believe is what it's called. And I usually like to have these in my travel bag because it's a nice quick pouch that I can put anything in. So if I'm storing extra stuff, I can put it in there for packing purposes, or if I'm going out and I just need something quick to hold like a few things and I don't need a full-on purse, then this is what I use. So I made sure that I packed this as well. However, on this trip, I actually did not use this at all. So that was a little bit unusual, but I will explain why in just a bit. But those are my packing essentials. So no matter where I'm going, those are what I always pack, and it's always in my carry-on. Oh, and then one last thing I always forgot. I always have my travel scale. It might be silly, but it's so small and so compact that it's really easy to just takes the guesswork out of things. So it's just a travel scale. Got this one on Amazon. It's a digital one. I do have a non-digital one as well. I have a couple, but I really like that it's easy to weigh it. I don't have to like try to look at the scale, you know, to do it. So that is the other thing that I packed. So now that I've showed you guys what I normally pack, I'm going to show you what I packed specifically for this trip. Yes, I packed 2 hats. 2 sun hats for my trip because obviously I'm going to Mexico, and the weather that was forecasted was actually going to be in like the high 70s while I was there, but humidity is super high there versus where I am, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I packed 2 hats specifically for options. Now this is one I got from Costco. Both of these are packable. But I like this one, and the reason why I brought this one was because it's a little bit more practical because of this drawstring, I guess, strap, so that if it's windy, it stays on. I can tie it to my bag if I need to. I can, you know, it stays on. I like that I don't lose it, so that's why I brought that one. And then I brought this one, which is a little bit more of like a sun hat. It's floppier, as you can see. A really great one if you're just going to be like hanging out by the pool or on the beach, because it just has, the brim is wider, so it's going to cover more more area. And this is actually one that I got from Posh for my trip, so it has beach goals on there. So those are 2 that I brought, and it was actually worked out that I brought 2 because I like variety, and it was really easy to fit them in my bag. It didn't take up a ton of space, so I brought that. And then the other things that I brought that for accessories, if you guys will, I threw this in. This was one of the last things I threw into my bag, and this is the tote that I got from my FabFitFun starter box that I just barely gotten, so I'd never used it, but I just barely threw this in because I realized I needed a beach tote for the beach or pool, right? And this ended up being the thing that I used the most on my trip because I love the size of it. I love that it's a tote that I can throw every single thing into when I'm walking around the resort, when I'm going to dinner. I can put in an extra jacket because air conditioning sometimes can get a little chilly, so I can put my cardigan in there. And like when I went to town, I was able to use this and throw all my purchases in this bag. I am a big fan of this bag. I'm really glad I brought it. So if you guys don't forget to pack a tote, and this one I really like because it's zippered, which not a lot of totes are, but it's zippered and it's tall, but even when it's not fully packed, it doesn't take up a ton of space. So, and I like also one of the best things about it is it actually has these little pockets on the side, which again, you don't always find in totes. So this was really helpful for me to put like my basics. So like I put in my like sanitizer and lip balm, and I was able to fit my room key in here. So it was super easy to grab it to get in and out. So that was one. This was, again, something I used a ton of. And then I brought my day pack, which I really like this because I like that it is breathable, so if you're not going to get all sweaty and whatnot. I love that it has a chest strap here, chest strap, as well as a hip strap. So it's just, it's going to be more practical. It has the ergonomic straps and back, and it's really fun. But this is one that I got from Sierra Trading Post. And I like that it has this little bit here too, expandable part, so I can throw stuff in here that will expand. Like I can throw shoes in here, or I can throw an extra coat in here. It has extra pockets, and anyway, I really like this. I actually use this for my personal item to take onto the plane. So I was able to fit just about everything I needed in here. And then when I went out on excursions, I was able to take this because I could fit, again, my backpack, or if I needed to change into dry clothing, I knew that I could put my wet clothes in the front and it wouldn't be a big problem. So there is that. And then other accessories that I brought along were my shoes. So I actually packed more shoes on this trip than I normally do. I usually only pack like 2, maybe 3 pairs of shoes, because I'm pretty minimalist. If I have a pair of shoes I like, that's what I stick with, but I usually bring like maybe 2, like if like a sandal, a flat, and a sneaker is usually what I go with. And so this time I wore my flats there, my teaks, and then I wore them home, and then I brought these to wear there. My beloved Born sandals. I love these. I wore those the most while I was there. I had my sneakers for the day that we went to volunteer to build gardens for the local children's home. And then, of course, I had my water shoes for when we went to visit the dolphins. So those were my shoes that I brought. Again, a good pair of sandals are really pretty much mostly what you're going to be living in when you're there. And usually whenever I travel anywhere that's warm, it's what I'm wearing the majority of the time too. Let's talk about our clothing. So clothes. I always bring a cardigan everywhere I go, no matter what the trip is. And on this trip, because the temperatures went like into like the mid 60s in the evening, I didn't know what to expect, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't get cold. I personally am somebody that gets cold quite often, so I need my layers. So I wanted to have the option, so I brought my cardigan here, which is like just a thin Old Navy cardigan. And then I brought this jacket here, which I actually got from a Stitch Fix, which is, it's an anorak, and it's got the little drawstring, but I actually can layer both of these jackets, so if I get freezing, I can wear both, or I like to have the option to have 2 jackets. So I brought those, and then of the things that I brought, the things I wore the most ended up being a lot of my kind of dressier outfits, because I was able to wear them for dinner. Because when you're going to an all-inclusive, you're going to probably be doing something different during the day than what you are doing at night, so you're going to need those 2 outfits. You're going to need, right, something for the day, something for the evening. And the evening dresses that I wore a lot were kind of like the longer, flowier summer dresses. So I have these ones here. So this one, which is like a maxi. So there's that. This maxi skirt, which some of these I made. So if you guys don't know, I sew as well. So I do have an Instagram account specifically to that. But some of these I made. Some of these I've just had in my wardrobe for a while. And then a tank dress. So if it was super hot, I was able to wear that. I wore this one on the plane, which is a maxi dress. And I actually ended up not wearing this at all during the trip because I just loved the other ones better. They were more breathable. But I like that one on the plane. And then for my swimwear, I actually packed like 3 different kinds of bathing suits. But then since I'm not somebody that sits at the pool or really enjoys sitting at the pool, and there was just so many things going on, I ended up just wearing my one swimsuit the entire time. And it took like 2 days to dry in between. So, things to keep in mind when you're in a humid environment is that things do not dry. So, I have this top here that I got from Target a couple years ago, and then these high-waisted bottoms that I actually got on clearance at like dealers forever ago. So, that's what I wore. And then my cover-up, I actually had another cover-up which I forgot to grab, but this is the other cover-up that I brought, which is another one of the ones that I made. So, there's that, clothing-wise. Yeah, it's funny because I packed all these clothes, and for the most part, I wore everything that I brought at least twice. But it's funny to me, like, what you end up wanting on a trip. So it's nice that I brought extra stuff, but I like that I didn't go overboard. Again, I didn't want to pack more than what fit into my carry-on. So what I have here is my favorites. Obviously, you'll see in the pictures if you follow me on Instagram. But yeah, I really like the option to be able to wear some of these over swimsuits or for dinner or during the day when it's hot. But yeah, so those are my clothing options. And then I wanted to show you guys a couple more things. Okay, so 2 things that I wanted to show you guys. One thing is something that I've never brought on a trip before, but I feel like I need to always bring it on a trip now, and you guys are going to laugh if you guys have never tried this, but it's good, the poopery. This is the travel size, so you could pack it on and carry on. And honestly, if you are rooming with anybody, so if you have a roommate or you're, it's just like super funny, but it's like funny to have this, but it's really awesome. It works, and it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna bring poopery, and then I was like, I love this. I think I should always bring poopery. So that is one thing that I brought that I was like, yes. But then the other thing I want to show you guys were things that I brought that I totally did not need to bring. So I always think that I'm going to do my hair and do my makeup and all that fun stuff, and so I packed all these things thinking I'm going to get all cutesy and stuff. Yeah, no, I really didn't need all the makeup that I brought. I only needed like the bare minimum. Again, I'm going to the beach, like it doesn't really matter. And then for my hair, I forget how different your hair can be in the humidity. So even though I brought this, I totally used it like one day, and I'm like, I don't like it because it made my hair all weird, and I didn't like it. So even though I brought it, I did not use it. And then the other things that I brought that I ended up not using a whole ton of was my stainless steel tumbler, which I actually planned on housing my pool drinks in this, but then because I didn't go to the pool all that often, it really didn't matter. And then the resort that we were at, which is the Now Amber Resort in Puerto Vallarta, they actually use reusable cups, and they have a no straw policy, so it actually wasn't as wasteful as I thought it was going to be, because I was going to try to like not be so wasteful, and turns out it wasn't necessary. So I brought this and didn't even end up using it. And then the other thing I brought were stainless steel straws, because I knew it was a straw-free environment, and I'm usually somebody that loves drinking through a straw. I have to have it, but turns out it's not exactly necessary if you don't remember to take it with you. So I just ended up leaving that in my suitcase and completely forgot to bring it. But there is what I have. That's what I packed for my trip. Again, I had a blast. It was really fun. And the biggest thing, honestly, that I was glad I brought was my tote. There was one night even that like half of my friends just threw their crap in my tote because they didn't have anything to put it in, and I was like, yeah, throw it in there. And then by the end of the night, I'm like, I felt like it was a Mary Poppins bag because someone was cold, and I'm like, I swear there's a jacket in here. Oh, there is. Here, use that. You can give it back later. But yeah, it was just hilarious because it's funny, you never know what you're going to bring, so, or what you're going to use, and what was useful, and what your favorite things are. So hopefully this video was helpful. I just wanted to share with you guys just what I brought, what I thought was useful, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying all of the tidbits from my trip. I do have them all posted in the highlights on my Instagram, so make sure you guys check that out. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you've been to an all-inclusive before, let me know which one you've been to in the comments below. I really, really would like to take my family back to an all-inclusive in the future, because I think it's just a really, really fun, relaxing way to travel. So I'd love to hear where you guys have been. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. I will be doing a video next of all the things I brought home with me from Puerto Vallarta.